How did that work out?
Oh,
How did that work out? Did that sound a little bit like it? Good, 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 good. Well, you know, recently my wife, she said, look at this old silverware. We got to get rid of it. We're going to have a yard sale. We got to get rid of this old silverware. I said, honey, we can't get rid of that old silverware. That silverware's been in my family ever since my dad was a busboy at the Waldorf Astoria.
oh, what's happening?
Oh, brother. Okay, so the question is, well, what about Boogie Woogie? Where did that come from, and where's it going? You know, a lot of the old rock and roll came from Boogie Woogie. A matter of fact, anytime you hear an old rock and roll song, the kind of rock and roll songs that we love, you know, the old, not the nowadays. The music nowadays isn't that great, is it? I have a nephew who's 15. He stayed with us over the holidays. And I want to give you an example of some of the music he was listening to. Pushing too hard, pushing too hard, pushing too hard, pushing too hard. And that's a love song. It got to a point where I had to yell up to him, Brandon, if you don't turn that music off, I'm going to lose my mind. He said, too late, I turned it off an hour ago. But our music, the music of the 50s and some of the 60s, that was good rock music, and a lot of it was based on Boogie Woogie. I remember when I was entertaining on cruise ships, I used to do a show like this on cruise ships, and kind of like this. And one time in Hawaii, we were with Don Ho, the singer, Don Ho. Really nice guy, great big tall guy, really nice and friendly with all the entertainers. And he taught me a song in Hawaiian. Oh, look up the waki and the maki da den, ea, uade to timoa imo ide de pede. So I asked him what it meant in English. He said in English it means wap bam blue mountain. But that's Boogie Woogie, you see right there. That's Boogie Woogie. So Anytime we have something like that going on. You know, when we hear that kind of harmonica being played, the blues harmonica with the boogie woogie and stuff, sometimes people ask me, you know, how do you get those sounds? And so sometimes I explain that because in most of my audiences, there's somebody, maybe a few people who at one point heard the harmonica played that way and wanted to play that way. So you know, maybe there's somebody here today that where you saw a harmonica lying around at a friend's house, or you went down to a music store, bought a harmonica, and tried it out. What happened? When you laugh into it. I think I got one of last night's Rice Krispies. I'm going to teach you how to do it now, so the next time you have a harmonica on hand, you can do it. Harmonica's got 10 little holes, and it comes in a little box like this. And in the box, there's a instruction, a little piece of paper. It says how to play the harmonica. Now, the first thing you got to do is crumple that up and throw it away. Because if you read it, you'll play the harmonica all right, except it'll sound like this. Which is not bad. That's kind of nice, but that's not what you want. You want this. So now I'm going to teach you how to do it. 10 little holes. You got to make a hole in your lips, just the size of the hole in the harmonica. So you get one hole like this. Now that takes 2 weeks. Then you purse your lips hard. You flex the muscles in your lips, and that note will go down. That's step 2 on learning the blues and boogie woogie on the harmonica. Now step 3 is the train rhythm. You have to learn the train rhythm. The train rhythm is where you breathe in 2 times, breathe out once, and breathe in once. In 2 times, out once, in once. In 2 times, out once, in once. Starts to sound like a train. Thank you very much. Next, pardon me, I'm sorry. I should turn around when I drink water like that. I think it's rude to tip the bottle, isn't it? Is it rude? No. It's not? Okay. Very dry after that. Yeah, I want to tell you a quick story about my friend Fred here. You know, Debbie is such a, thanks for coming, you guys, it's terrific. Debbie is our dear friend, and she married Fred. Now, Fred and I go way back. Fred and I have known each other since before they got married, and Fred told me one time, he said, now, Flint, he said, you have no idea what an influential person I really am, and how many famous people I really know. And I said, you're kidding me. He said, no. He said, when we went to see Frank Sinatra in Los Angeles, Fred said to me, now you wait in the audience, I'm going to go backstage with Frank, and when he walks out on stage, I'll be the guy accompanying him. And sure enough, the lights went down, there comes Sinatra, and there's Fred walking right beside him. I couldn't believe it. Wow, fantastic. Later, we went to the Vatican, you know. And Fred said, now when the Pope comes out on that balcony, I'm going to be the guy standing right next to him. I couldn't believe it. The Pope came out, there was Fred standing right next to him. Just then an Italian guy tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, who's that guy in the robe standing next to Fred? Later on, Fred got a job driving the Pope around, you know, as a chauffeur, driving the Pope around. And I guess they were up in Minneapolis or something like that, and they were trying to make the airport. The Pope had a flight, and Fred was racing. He was driving erratically, running red lights and everything, and the Pope said to Fred, he said, you get in the back seat and let me drive, because I've been here before, I know the route. So the Pope's driving, Fred's in the back seat, the Pope runs a red light, and a traffic cop pulls him over. And the motorcycle cop goes back over, he says to the dispatcher, I've just pulled over one of the most powerful and influential men in the world. And the dispatcher says, really, who is it? He says, well, his name's Fred. But he's got the Pope driving him around. Later, we went to see the Dalai Lama. And I said to Fred, you know the Dalai Lama? He said, oh, yeah. And I used to shoot pool with him at the Lucky 7 in Fort Lauderdale. I said, you're kidding me. He said, no. So we went to meet the Dalai Lama, and Fred said, wait here. And while he was in there, the guide came in, and it was a small room, about 1/4 the size of this room here. And the guide said, when the Dalai comes in, you're going to feel the energy in the room. And everybody will get a chance to say something to the Dalai. So, I didn't know what to say, so I just said, hello. That's funny. That one cracked him up at the Carolina Hotel last month. Brother. I have. Yes. Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Gershwin was, of course, an incredible composer. Was he just as incredible as a piano player?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He was.
I've heard.
Gershwin was a brilliant pianist, and we don't have too many recordings of him, but we have some. And he made a Rhapsody in Blue piano roll, but it's not really, since it's a roll, it's not really, you can't really get the idea of him, how he really might have played it. It's kind of mechanical. It's very mechanical. It's 100% mechanical. But we have recordings of him, because he wrote I Got Rhythm. And so this is kind of a neat thing. there used to be a thing with piano players. I used to hang around a lot with piano players. We had a kind of a gang in Los Angeles. Old, young, new guys, other guys that played mainly classical. Some were Scott Joplin guys, and some played country and ragtime and what have you. And it became a thing to play I've Got Rhythm and change the rhythms. Why? Because Gershwin did that and he recorded it. I have the recording. Gershwin wrote I Got Rhythm, and he thought it would be clever to change the rhythms and make it a waltz and make it a tango and do all these things.
Wow.
Would you like to hear my version of
Oh,
I Got
wow.
Rhythm with all the different rhythms?
Oh, wow.
Goes like this. Thank you very much, everybody. I think we're going to have to wrap it up. I brought the guitar thinking that I've written some songs, and I only sing them with guitar. I can't sing with the piano. It's too much in tune. My voice. But I don't think we're going to have time today. You've been such a patient and wonderful audience.
You're going to play the guitar, play the flowers.
Give us one.
Give us one.
One song? Okay, I'm real dry. But hold on one second. How many people here play guitar?
I have.
A few.
I have.
Some don't want to admit it. Here's the deal. Here's what happened. I started writing songs about 5 years ago, and I told my wife, I think these are pretty good. I don't know, you know, and then the people that would hear them, they thought they were pretty good, and so I decided that's where my kind of my new interest lies, you know, and I've always played a little guitar. It's just a hobby. The piano's been a profession, but the guitar's just a hobby. And in the past 5 years, I've written and copyrighted about 62 songs.
Oh, wow.
And this show today was supposed to be piano, and I feel very guilty prevailing on y'all for this. But,
Oh, yeah.
let's see if I can pull this off now. After Rhapsody in Blue, Rhapsody in Blue was pretty good. But Ray Charles used to play saxophone, didn't he? He played saxophone, and sometimes Leon Russell would pick up a guitar, and Ronnie Millsap, who's one of my idols, he picks up a guitar occasionally, and so it, I guess, you know, this is one called Old Love Letters, and it goes like this. I hope you enjoyed it. All of the 62 aren't like that. Some of them are like this. No, it's you know, when I listen to the radio, which I try not to do, let me ask y'all a question. We're kind of an over 55 crowd here today, and do y'all go on the internet to get your music? What do you do? Do you go to Spotify? How many people go to Spotify?
I have.
How many people play their old records? Okay, and how many people play CDs? That's good, because I've got CDs for sale. And how many people go to YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, YouTube's pretty cool, huh? But
The classical station.
the classical station, that's about the only thing good in the car. The classical and,
Serious.
what is it?
Sirius satellite. Sirius.
Oh, Sirius. On Sirius, you can get all that good stuff. Sirius is great, isn't it?
I think so.
Falling in love with you was so much fun. I saved each note you wrote when we were young. Back then I read the lines, but never knew that those promises you made would all come true. Old love letters, I read them now and then. Last night I held them and read them once again. And now I recall so tenderly what those old love letters mean to me. One thing never changed, we're still in love. Somehow we made it through when times were tough. Your hair, your voice, your eyes delight me still. 'Cause you know I love you now and always will. Old love letters, I read them now and then. Last night I held them and read them once again. And now I recall so tenderly what those old love letters mean to me.
Wow.
Thank you very much. I'm going to come out with a CD of original songs like that, and there a lot of them are geared for a kind of a baby boomer and up kind of crowd. And I just was curious to know who's going to be able to access it, because if they go on Spotify or something, I'm learning about how to stream your music digitally and market yourself on the internet.
Pandora.
But until that happens, I got CDs. Thank you all for coming. God bless you all. I love